welcome to another exciting episode of our In the Spotlight series. Today we're thrilled to have Glebs Kiselovs, CEO of BISS, joining us for an engaging conversation. BISS is on its way to be making waves in the parking industry since Glebs' recent acquisition of the company. He has been implementing future-oriented changes to drive the company forward. Let's dive into the journey of BISS and explore how they're setting new standards in the industry. Glebs, it's great to have this opportunity to have a chat. I'm curious to hear more about BISS from you.
Thanks, Mana. Thanks for hosting. So BISS is a company that has been on the market for nearly 30 years. We're based in Latvia, and historically, the company has been manufacturing parking, access, and vehicle flow solutions. We are actually the largest in the Baltic states doing that. And I bought the company 2 years ago from the previous owner and the founder of the company, in order to transform it into a global player with some big ambitions. So that's in very short what we do around here.
Would you say there have already been a lot of changes since the acquisition? And as a follow-up to that, can you also expand on the big ambitions you have for the company?
Yeah, so there have been quite a lot of things we changed. So when we bought the company 2 years ago, we spent a year just looking at what is happening there and how the business is structured, how people work. And there have been, the reason why we bought the company is because it has such a strong technology base and such a strong technical line of the people. So I loved that from the very first time I met the guys in the company. But there have been things where the company was just outdated. Like, I can give you an example. We had 0 meetings happening in the company, especially recurring meetings happening in the company, because as somebody said in the company, one day the guys realized that they normally argue during the meetings. So they got to a conflict situation and then realized that let's just remove the meetings from the agenda and not do it. So we had to change quite a lot of things, not just from the product side, but also culturally. And yeah, we are growing it to become one of the most notable players in the European arena. We're obviously not willing to, compete with in the areas which are so-called red oceans. So we're trying to differentiate ourselves.
I absolutely love that and definitely agree with you that when it comes to managing a relationship with a customer and working with them to create the most value together, you most certainly need regular contact. Now, speaking of customers, what is your target market?
So we have 4 key products/markets we're targeting. One is being the paid parking, off-street parking lots. Second, the business centers. Third one, logistics centers, and the 4th, manufacturers. So for the paid parking and for the business centers, this is a paid parking solution with license plate recognition, where we have our own software behind, but we obviously use partners to provide us with the ANPR technology. And we also manufacture the base stations ourselves here in Latvia with various kinds of options. We've been quite successful in that area, and we've just won the largest tender in the region to upgrade all of the pay stations in Riga municipality. So with regards to the business centers, we also have a thing called free space recognition parking guidance, which is our new solution. I can talk a little bit more on that later, but this is a solution that uses existing CCTV cameras, adds the picture to our AI engine, and we create a digital map recognizing which parking lot is occupied and which is free, and we can navigate the car to the nearest available parking lot, thereby reducing the CO2 emissions by 35 to 50%.
Interesting, and I'm sure the audience would agree with you that improving sustainability has been a crucial topic recently and only growing in importance. From your personal standpoint, could you tell me a bit about the difference you see in the regions and markets you're involved in?
First of all, if we speak about the differences between the Baltic market and the European market, is that we live in quite a small region, and historically we are not in a top tier in terms of our economical activities and the wealth. So very often we see that customers are struggling with making decisions on whether to buy basics, like the basic parking control system with the ANPR, etc. And when it comes to like add-ons, nice things to have, like free space recognition that significantly reduces the CO2 emissions, it's even harder. And we see that in Central Europe or Western European side, it's much easier to sell the solutions because the market is already there, and you don't need to explain why the following solution is required. With regards to the, let's say, habit change, I think the most notable one is shift towards automated processes that cut down the costs. So cutting down the manual labor, the manual security guy that controls your trucks coming in and out, or cutting down CO2 emissions, because actually European government provides subsidies to the companies that cut CO2 emissions. So in the last 6 months, we've had quite a lot of clients who we did calculations for and shown that, you know, if you have a parking navigation and guidance system, then you can get a significant benefit in terms of reduction in taxation.
Okay, based on your comments, would you say that the market is ready for solutions you're bringing to the table? Are decision makers open to the software, open to the new tech?
I think the market is ready to accept the technology, but sometimes it's not ready to understand it. And you need to find both the right decision makers who are the most interested and suffer most without the technology at the moment. And you also need to find the right message to those people so they could prioritize your thing over millions of other things they have on the agenda.
So, Glebs, looking at the future then, where do you see things headed for BISS and also for the industry?
So for BISS, we have a goal to reach 10 million euro consolidated annual turnover for our group of companies, where BISS has the strongest position. So we're planning to grow more than 3 times in the next 2 years. We have big ambitions and big changes happening in the team. We are expanding our sales team, and we are looking for partners all over Europe, the system integrators, the municipalities, and the parking operators as well. So we put a lot of effort, and I think partnership with you guys have definitely been one of the greatest things we've had in the last few months. Thank you for that. And with regards to the industry, I think industry is heading to products that focus on their niche market. So, like as I mentioned before, there are loads of companies who are doing a great job in paid parking. So we need to differentiate ourselves. And sometimes we even need to cooperate, because we can be very strong in one thing. And I don't know, a manufacturer in Germany can be strong in another thing. And we don't need to, compete with each other. We can cooperate. So that, I think, is where we need to work on more as the industry as a whole.
Thank you so much for your input and the kind words today, Glebs. We're also very excited to have BISS as part of the Parking Network community and hope to be able to support you in reaching those big goals that you have.
Thank you, Mane. Thank you for inviting me, and thanks to all of the audience for spending a couple of minutes of your time listening, and for being part of the community, because I think together we definitely help each other grow.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation with Glebs and found his insights into the future of BISS and the industry as exciting as we did. Stay tuned for more updates and join us next time for another engaging episode of the In the Spotlight series. Thank you for watching.